The interview with BJNN is brought to you by Biz Events, connecting the Central New York business community through events.
I'm Marnie Nesher, president of the Business Journal News Network, and I'd like to welcome Joe Convertino Jr., president of CH Insurance, located in the heart of downtown Syracuse. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Marnie. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So we always like to start the interview and get to know the individual themselves. If you'd share with us where you grew up, and would love to know where you received your undergrad degree.
Oh, great. From Camillus, West Jenny graduate, 1983. So I'm a West Ender. Okay. Played baseball, basketball for West Jenny and was very active in the sports community. Then graduated from Nazareth College in 1987 out in Rochester.
Okay, and I know basketball is near and dear to your heart. I'm always curious how basketball has impacted your life and how it's impacted you in business.
Well, I think any sports in general should impact an individual. But in my case, I played Division III basketball. Just loved it for 4 years out at Nazareth. I think it teaches teamwork. I think there's a aspect to competition, the win-all attitude. And, I see what I've learned through sports. And for those of you that know me, I like golf. I think golf brings in that competition that it brings to any organization. I think teamwork, team building, having fun was all part of the sports experience, especially at Nazareth that I had. So
if I can ask you, who was your mentor growing up then?
I mean, a mentor growing up, I had a bunch of them. I mean, outside of my parents, my father was instrumental back then, never missed a game in college. One of those parents, my parents never missed a game, whether we were in California or in Pennsylvania. So that was wonderful. But mentor would have been my coaches along the way. And I think in the business world, personally, I've used a few business coaches to guide me along the path to continue growing and making changes in your day-to-day business.
So for today, when you seek business advice, who are you reaching out to today? So
I reach out to business coaches. I'm very active on LinkedIn. There isn't just one person. For people that know me, I have really a bunch of individuals that I like to surround myself with and ask questions because, I think you learn really every day in whatever business you're in, and you cannot stay stagnant. So whether it's a digital company, even my own clients that we work insurance programs with, I love learning from them and how they're doing things for their employees, how they're changing during any time of the year to make themselves better. And I want to bring that to CH Insurance. So let's talk about CH Insurance. Mm-hmm. Tell us how it started and what are some of the products that you offer? Yeah, well, CH Insurance, we were part of a larger company back in the early 90s. My dad was a principal with 3 other principals back in the early 90s. They were actually sold to a health insurance provider. And my dad in the H spun away, and we had 13 employees, probably in 1997. And CH Insurance was formed, and it's been a great run. We have 30 employees today. We do commercial insurance, personal insurance, risk management, group benefits, wellness. So we have a whole platform of insurances that we like to help people with.
And what would be your territory?
Our territory is predominantly up and down the thruway. We are a Central New York company, but we worked with a small agency in Rome. We have an individual in Rochester. We're starting to get to Buffalo. So I would say we're New York State, predominantly Central New York. Very big in the Utica, Rome area. My dad's originally from there. My wife and mom are from Rome. So we're naturally connected there, and we do have some staff there as well.
Very nice.
So it's good.
And you are a family business. Can you tell me how many family members are currently active in your business?
Well, it's funny you're saying that.
Okay.
My kids interned. I have 3 beautiful daughters. My kids interned over the last 5 years, answering phones, doing social media. But my Alyssa, who graduated from Fredonia State, came into the business last April, and she's learning it. She does personal lines, so, servicing. She's not out in the sales environment. She's more behind the scenes, and I'll tell you, the technology they understand is just off the charts. Off the charts.
So are you talking about 3 generations right now? Your father, you, and your daughter?
Correct. And then my nephew actually interned. He's a sophomore, junior at Temple. And we had him doing some high impact stuff this summer, and he loved it. So he's actually taking classes in risk management.
All right, so he may be coming back into that family business.
Who knows? Who knows?
Right. All right, that's great. So talk to us a little bit about some of the biggest challenges in the industry today that we may not be aware of.
Well, I think the challenges would be legislative changes every year with workers' comp, with health insurance. So you do need to be on the cutting edge of technology and being part of associations that can help you. And if you have any, tough issues, we actually turn to our association, the Big Eye of New York, who helps us with different aspects to flood changes, legislative issues with health insurance, workers' comp changes. So, we have to stay ahead of the curve and ultimately have our staff part of that as well. So there's a lot of ongoing training. And as an independent agent, consolidation is so big in our world, and we want to remain independent and local, where a lot of independent agents across the country are getting sucked up by banks, private equity, and different aspects of that. But we see the future just bright, growing locally and making it happen for the community.
Now, what about as a business owner? Is there something that we should be aware of that we're not within the insurance industry? Is there something that we all need a piece of that we're not purchasing or paying attention to that's going to hurt us down the road?
Right. I think that's an interesting question. I would say similar to the consumer, right, of a personal insurance and even a business owner, most think everything's covered.
Right.
Everything's covered. Right. And they call their agent and there's something there. Deductible, the jewelry wasn't scheduled, you didn't have flood insurance. Data breach and cyber liability, Marnie, is so big today. You're reading about it either nationally or locally. There's insurance for that.
And does that impact almost every type of company?
Yes, every business that really has a lot of important information, similar to our industry. I mean, we got names,
right.
Social security numbers.
Private information.
Privacy laws. Because if someone gets breached, does it affect your business? Does it affect you in a, can it create a bad reputation for your business where no one comes to your restaurant, no one comes to your store, things of that nature? It would help in that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good to know. And it's true. We usually do think most things are covered.
It is, and that's why. I mean, we're in the empathy business. We need to be there for our clients, listen to them, understand what their issue is, and that's one thing. My dad taught all of us is, look, it's a boring product, right? But when something happens, we have to be there for them. Is the bottom line. Phone call, email, text, FaceTime, whatever it is. And, if we don't know the answer, we'll get back to you. And that's why we're creating this culture within, I believe, CH Insurance and doing what we're doing locally. It's fun.
Well, so let's talk about community. I know that's important for you, and a lot of the presidents and C-suite executives that I've been talking with locally, they're heavily involved in the Central New York community, volunteering. Your company especially believes in giving back, and you participate with a lot of nonprofits. Why do you do that? Why is it important for you and for CH?
Yeah, I just think is being brought up. If you have it as an organization, why not give back? It makes And we didn't do this many years back. And I think the employees are happier. There's a sense of energy around it that they're now all coming up. Can we do this? What about this for the holidays? It's going so well, we had to create a committee for this. We can't do everything, but it's given us tremendous exposure, okay? But it's also helped nonprofits, and I think if you can do that, and you have the resources, why wouldn't you? And that's what we believe in.
I think that's wonderful.
So it's been good.
Should be right, and we all should be participating.
Yes.
We should all be giving back to the ability that we can as an organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
What about what do you see on the horizon for the Central New York community in general? Where do you see us in the next 5 years?
From an industry or the community?
Just the community. We've had a revitalization in downtown Syracuse, and we see it happening. In Utica. What do you see? Do you have any foresight for us?
Well, I just see change. I see positive change, and I think it started with the leadership in the city with new county, new mayor. I think that was wonderful. I saw it with us moving downtown and just seeing the people in downtown Syracuse and the growth with apartments and real estate. In Utica, in Rome, we're seeing revitalization everywhere. So I think it's going to have a positive impact, and it's just a great thing for the employees to be downtown. Is we hire younger people, they're living downtown. Who would have thought people are living downtown? So creating that culture and adapting to what's happening locally is how businesses are going to keep moving forward.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you to Joe for joining me. Appreciate it. And stay up to date. Find out more about our interviews. Go to CNYBJ.com.